Hello students, this class is for class 8 and we are discussing the chapter atomic structure. So we have discussed that J.J. Thomson has found some negatively charged particles, some rays that are going from cathode to anode in discharge tube experiment, and he was expecting that as they are going to the anode, that means they will be negatively charged. But how to prove it that these rays are negatively charged? So about the discharge tube, there is vacuum pump, here is some plate that is negatively charged plate, that is cathode, and here is positively charged plate, that is anode, just like a battery, positive negative side, and it is connected to an induction coil. Okay, this is induction coil, and when it was done, some rays are going from negative to positive, and he was saying that as they are going to the positively charged anode plate, that means they are negatively charged. But how to prove it? Then he gave an magnetic field, he gave an electrical field, he gave an electrical field in both sides, just like a positive electrical field here. This is positive electrical field applied, positive electrical field, and here a negative electrical field is also applied. This is positive electrical field and this is negative electrical field. When this electrical field is applied, it is seen that the rays that are going in a straight line, it is the characteristics of cathode rays that they will travel in a straight line. But when these electrical fields are applied, it is seen that the cathode rays are bending towards the positively charged electrical field. Instead of going in a straight line, when electrical field is applied, they are bending like this. They are bending towards the positive electrical field. So this is the confirmatory test that these cathode rays are definitely negative charge. As they are bending towards the positive electrical field, that means they are attracted towards the positive electrical field and obviously negatively charged. This is the confirmatory test. So by discharge tube experiment, J.J. Thomson found the cathode rays that are negatively charged, and by the discovery of cathode rays, he also found that these rays are actually electrons. So next, what are the properties of cathode rays and what are the properties of electrons? So these are negatively charged rays. This is one characteristics of electrons, and they have a definite mass, definite charge. Okay, so properties of electrons. So electrons are negatively charged. This is one characteristics. They are negatively charged. They have a definite mass, and the mass value is 9.11 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg. Definite mass, they have definite mass, and this mass value is 9.11 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg. See this 10 to the power minus 31 portion, this is very small. Okay, 9.11 into 10 to the power minus 31 means this mass value is very small and we can take it as negligible. So it is considered that the mass of electrons are negligible mass. So just like mass, they have a definite charge. As they are deflecting back to deflecting towards the positive electrical field, that means they are negatively charged definitely, and the charge has a value. Okay, it has a charge value, and the value is charge equal to minus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Coulomb is represented by capital C. Okay, Coulomb is represented by capital C. See here a minus sign is given as the electrons are negatively charged. So charge is negatively charged and the charge value is minus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 Coulomb. And the electrons are represented as minus 1 E0. What does it represent? Minus 1 E0. Minus 1, it represents the charge of electron. Minus 1 represents the charge of electron and 0 represents the mass. Why is 0 represented? Because I have written that this value is very very small and it is negligible. As it is negligible, so it is written as 0. So the above portion, this superscript value represents the mass and the subscript value represents the charge. So minus 1 for electron, 0. This is the representation of an electron. So next, we know that atoms are electrically neutral. It is not charged. So, but the one subatomic particle, so far we have discussed, it is electron and it is negatively charged. So, it reveals the idea that if atom is neutral, but the electron is negatively charged, one subatomic particle, then atom must contain some other particle that is positively charged, and the negative charge is balanced by that positive charge. That's why the atom is electrically neutral. So, beside these negatively charged particles, there must be some positively charged particles, and that making the atomic structure neutral. So what are they? So again, the discharge tube experiment was performed by Goldstein, but he made some modification in that discharge tube experiment by taking perforated cathode. So Thomson made the discharge tube experiment only by taking cathode and anode, and Goldstein performed the same experiment by taking perforated cathode. So discharge tube. Here is anode. This is anode, and here in normal cathode is not taken, it is taken perforated cathode. That is cathode containing holes. Cathode containing some holes are known as perforated cathode. Perforated cathode. So again, when they are connected to some induction coil, again there will be some ray of there will be some generation of some rays, passing rays, and you know, when we have already discussed that some cathode rays must pass in a straight line, that is cathode rays mean generating from cathode. So we will see these rays. These are cathode rays going from cathode to anode when the anode and cathode are connected to induction coil. But when this perforated cathode is taken in this experiment, it is also seen that some other rays are going in the opposite direction. Some other rays are going in the opposite direction to that of the cathode rays. The cathode rays are going from cathode to anode, and by these holes, another rays are going in the opposite direction to that of the cathode rays. That is, from the rays are generally coming from this anode. These rays are found when Goldstein took this perforated cathode. Perforated cathode means containing holes, and when it was found that from anode to cathode, there are some rays going in the opposite direction to that of the cathode rays. So we can also say that they are going to the negatively charged plate, positively charged plate, and this is negatively charged. So they are negatively charged. So if these rays that are going in the opposite direction, they are expecting to be positively charged. If cathode rays are negatively charged, the rays that are going in the opposite direction of cathode rays must be positively charged. It is expected. So again, in this experiment, some electrical field is applied, just like the previous one. Some electrical field is applied, a positive electrical field and a negative electrical field, and it is seen that these rays are deflecting towards the negative electrical field. Cathode rays were deflected towards the positive electrical field, and these rays were deflected towards the negative electrical field. As they were deflected towards the negative electrical field, that means they are positively charged. So they are going in opposite direction and generating from anode. So these are named as anode rays. So these are named as anode rays. So here experiment is same as that of J.J. Thomson, but there is only one change, that is Goldstein took the perforated cathode, and due to the existence of holes in this perforated cathode, he found some other rays that are going in the opposite direction to that of the cathode rays, that are positively charged and deflecting towards the negative electrical field. So these rays were found to be positively charged, and he found that these are actually protons. So discovery of these anode rays are actually the basis of the discovery of protons. So what will be the properties of protons? Properties of protons. So properties of protons are, they are obviously positively charged. They are positively charged. Their mass value, just like electrons, they have a mass value, and the mass value is 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram. Mass value equal to 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram. And just like electrons, they will also have a charge, and the charge is numerically equal to that of the electron, and that's why atom is electrically neutral. The charge of electron and charge of proton is numerically same, but the sign is opposite. So the sign for electrons were negative, and for protons it will be plus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Okay, same value, but the sign is opposite here. And the protons are represented as plus 1 P1. So here plus 1 represents the unit positive charge of proton. That means proton carries unit positive charge. This is the charge of proton, and this is the mass of proton. This is the mass. So plus 1 P1. So proton carries, they are positively charged and they carries unit positive charge, and they has a mass 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram, and that is taken here in the symbol, it is taken, that is nearly equal to 1. Now, after the discovery of electrons and protons, J.J. Thomson gave and model the structure, the model for the atomic structure, and that is known as plum pudding model. So in the plum pudding model, Thomson explained that so far only the protons and discovery of protons and electrons we have discussed. So the plum pudding model is given based on the two subatomic particles, that is the subatomic particle electron and subatomic particle proton. Based on these two subatomic particles, the structure of atom is given by Thomson, and this is known as plum pudding model. So in plum pudding model, the whole atom is considered as a uniformly distributed positive charge. The atom is considered to be a sphere of uniform positive charge. Atom is considered as a sphere of atom is considered as a sphere of uniform positive charge. So if it is atom, the positive charges are uniformly distributed all over the atom. Outside the sphere, the positive charges are uniformly distributed, and the second theory is, in the plum pudding model, the electrons are embedded within that model. The electrons are embedded within that model. Okay, just like the seeds of a fruit, embedded within that sphere. The electrons are embedded within the model or within the sphere. Okay, the second point. Electrons are embedded into it. Electrons are embedded into it. Into it means within that model, within the sphere, electrons are embedded. So how he explained that the whole model is, whole sphere is electrically neutral. That means the numerical value of this positive charge and numerical value of this negative charge are equal. That is, positive charge and negative charges are numerically equal. Total positive charge, the second theory was total positive charge. Total positive charge is equal to total negative charge. Total negative charge. And that's why the whole model, whole sphere is actually, whole atom is electrically neutral. And in the third part, it is considered that the mass of the atom is uniformly distributed. The whole mass of the atom, it is uniformly distributed. Mass of atom is uniformly distributed. So 3 points for plum pudding model. Whole atom is positively charged sphere where electrons are embedded into it just like the seeds of any fruit, and the total positive charge is equal to total negative charge. That's why the whole model or atom is electrically neutral, and whole mass of the atom is uniformly distributed throughout the sphere. But later we will see that the mass of the atom is not actually uniformly distributed. It is concentrated in the central part of the atom. Okay, so that idea was given by Rutherford. So in the next class we will start from the Rutherford's discovery of nucleus.